What a heartbreaking night for Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal, and what a dramatic finish for Spain. Just when it looked like this FIFA World Cup round of 16 clash was destined for extra time, Spain found one magical moment in stoppage time to seal a famous 1-0 victory and book their place in the quarter-finals. This wasn't just another knockout game. It was a battle between two footballing giants. On one side was Cristiano Ronaldo, playing what could be the final World Cup match of his legendary career. On the other was Spain's exciting new generation, led by teenage superstar Lamine Yamal, eager to write the next chapter in Spanish football history. From the opening whistle, Spain looked determined to control the game. Their passing was sharp, their movement was quick, and they nearly struck inside the opening 10 minutes. Mikel Oyarzabal found himself completely onside after Portugal's defense hesitated, expecting an offside flag. But with only the goalkeeper to beat, he couldn't take advantage, allowing Portugal to escape an early scare. As the first half continued, Spain kept asking questions, and Portugal had one man to thank for keeping the score level, Diogo Costa. The Portuguese goalkeeper produced one incredible save after another, denying Lamine Yamal with a brilliant stop before reacting instantly to block the rebound. It was world-class goalkeeping that kept Portugal alive when Spain looked ready to break through. Portugal wasn't sitting back either. Nuno Mendes came inches away from giving his side the lead when his powerful effort smashed against the crossbar. It was a reminder that one moment could completely change this match, and both teams headed into halftime knowing the smallest mistake might decide everything. The second half became a tactical battle. Spain enjoyed most of the possession, patiently moving the ball around while Portugal stayed organized defensively, waiting for opportunities to counterattack. As the minutes ticked away, extra time looked almost certain. But Spain's manager had other ideas. The substitutions injected fresh energy into the Spanish attack, and one substitute would become the hero. Then came the defining moment of the match. In the 91st minute, Spain produced the kind of football they've been famous for over the years. Quick one-touch passing sliced through Portugal's defense before Ferran Torres slipped a perfectly weighted pass into the path of Mikel Merino. Timing his run perfectly to stay onside, Merino calmly fired the ball through Diogo Costa's legs and into the back of the net. The stadium erupted. Spanish players sprinted toward the corner flag, while Portugal stood frozen, realizing their World Cup hopes were slipping away. Merino had only been on the pitch for a short time, but he delivered exactly what every substitute dreams of, a game-winning goal on the biggest stage in football. To their credit, Portugal refused to give up. With almost no time remaining, they threw everything forward. Bernardo Silva came agonizingly close with a late header, but he couldn't keep it on target. Moments later, another dangerous cross flashed across Spain's goal, yet no Portuguese player could apply the finishing touch. The final whistle soon followed, ending Portugal's campaign in heartbreaking fashion. For Cristiano Ronaldo, it was a painful ending to what may be his final FIFA World Cup appearance. The Portuguese captain finished the match with 3 shots and limited touches as Spain's defense successfully kept him quiet throughout the night. As he walked off the field surrounded by teammates, football fans around the world knew they had likely witnessed the end of an unforgettable World Cup journey. For Spain, however, the dream continues. The 2010 World Cup champions are back in the quarter-finals for the first time since lifting the famous trophy all those years ago. Their trademark style, quick passing, intelligent movement, patience in possession, and perfectly timed substitutions, proved to be the difference when it mattered most. Now Spain turns its attention to Los Angeles, where an even bigger challenge awaits. They'll face the winner of the United States and Belgium in what promises to be another blockbuster quarter-final showdown. If this dramatic victory is any indication, Spain has the confidence, momentum, and quality to believe another unforgettable World Cup run is just getting started. Spain may not have produced their most spectacular performance of the tournament, but one thing is becoming crystal clear: they know how to win. Their dramatic victory over Portugal has sent them into the FIFA World Cup quarter-finals, and with every passing match, they look more like genuine title contenders. The biggest reason? Their incredible defensive consistency. Spain has now gone more than 600 minutes without conceding a goal, extending their remarkable run to 6 consecutive clean sheets. In knockout football, that kind of defensive record isn't just impressive, it's championship material. While their attack wasn't firing on all cylinders against Portugal, their organization, discipline, and teamwork once again proved to be the foundation of another huge victory. It wasn't a vintage Spanish performance. Lamine Yamal, who has dazzled throughout the tournament, wasn't quite at his brilliant best. A few final passes didn't come off, and Spain lacked the attacking rhythm we've become accustomed to seeing. But that's exactly what makes elite teams so dangerous. They don't have to play perfectly to keep winning. Another major factor was the impact of Spain's substitutes. Once again, the players coming off the bench completely changed the game. Fresh legs, renewed energy, and smart tactical adjustments gave Spain the edge when it mattered most. Mikel Merino's dramatic stoppage-time winner wasn't just about individual brilliance, it highlighted the incredible depth this Spanish squad possesses. In tournaments like the World Cup, championships are often won by the strength of the entire squad, not just the starting 11. Back home in Spain, there is unlikely to be much criticism despite the narrow victory. Everyone understood they were facing a talented Portuguese side loaded with world-class players. This wasn't expected to be another comfortable win like the previous round. Instead, Spain showed maturity, patience, and composure under pressure, qualities every future champion must possess. Portugal, on the other hand, may look back on this match with real frustration. They arguably faced Spain on one of their quieter attacking nights but failed to take advantage. The game lacked intensity for long stretches, and Portugal never truly seized control when opportunities appeared. Their attacking substitutions arrived too late, and by the time they began throwing numbers forward, Spain had already delivered the decisive blow. Perhaps the biggest talking point remains Cristiano Ronaldo. If this truly was his final FIFA World Cup appearance, it marks the end of one of the greatest international careers football has ever witnessed. Ronaldo inspired Portugal for nearly 2 decades, becoming the face of an entire generation. But now, attention naturally shifts toward the future. Portugal enters a brand new era. Without Ronaldo leading the attack, several experienced players will now have the opportunity to become the team's new leaders. Talented young stars are already waiting in the wings, and while this World Cup exit will hurt, Portugal still has enough quality to compete for major trophies, including the next UEFA European Championship. The challenge will be building a team that no longer depends on one legendary figure. Meanwhile, another team making headlines is England. Their thrilling 3-2 victory over Mexico at the iconic Azteca Stadium may prove to be one of the defining moments of their tournament. Playing in one of football's most intimidating atmospheres, England showed tremendous character, especially after being reduced to 10 men. Instead of collapsing under pressure, they defended with determination and fought for every ball until the final whistle. Harry Kane continues to play some of the best football of his career, while Jude Bellingham once again demonstrated why he's one of the world's brightest stars. Jordan Pickford also delivered arguably his strongest performance of the tournament, making crucial saves when England needed him most. With confidence growing inside the squad, England suddenly looks like a serious threat to anyone left in the competition. Back to Spain, though, and the conversation keeps coming back to one simple fact: they continue finding different ways to win. Whether it's dominating possession, relying on defensive discipline, or changing matches through impactful substitutions, Spain has every ingredient needed for a championship run. They may not have reached top gear yet, but that should concern the rest of the tournament. Because if Spain is already winning while still leaving room for improvement, imagine how dangerous they'll become once their attack fully clicks. The quarterfinals now await, and with momentum, confidence, and one of the tournament's strongest defensive records, Spain looks ready for an even bigger challenge as the road to World Cup glory continues. The conversation after Portugal's heartbreaking 1-0 defeat to Spain wasn't just about the result, it was about one question that every football fan is asking: did Roberto Martinez wait too long to make the changes? Spain deserved their place in the quarterfinals, but Portugal will leave this World Cup wondering what might have been. It wasn't simply a lack of quality that cost them. It was a night where tactical decisions became just as important as individual performances. Much of the attention naturally falls on Cristiano Ronaldo, who may have played the final World Cup match of his legendary career. But here's the reality: this defeat cannot be blamed on Ronaldo alone. Yes, the Portuguese captain struggled to influence the game. He had a couple of opportunities in the first half, including an ambitious bicycle kick attempt, but as the match wore on, Spain's defense kept him quiet. His movement wasn't creating the same problems we've seen throughout his incredible career, and Portugal desperately needed something different in attack. That's where the biggest debate begins. As the game drifted toward extra time, many expected Roberto Martinez to introduce Gonzalo Ramos, the striker who had already proven he could make a difference earlier in the tournament. Fresh legs, pace behind the defense, and a different attacking profile could have changed the momentum. But the substitution never came. Instead, Martinez kept his faith in Ronaldo until the very end, hoping the five-time Ballon d'Or winner would produce one more magical moment. Unfortunately for Portugal, that moment never arrived. Just minutes later, Spain struck through substitute Mikel Merino, and suddenly the opportunity to change the game had disappeared. However, focusing only on Ronaldo would ignore Portugal's much bigger problem. Coming into this World Cup, many experts believed Portugal possessed one of the strongest midfields in international football. With Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha, and João Neves pulling the strings, expectations were sky high. Yet against Spain, that talented trio struggled to control the match or create meaningful chances. Why? Part of the answer lies in how Spain defended, but part of it was Portugal's lack of attacking movement. At club level, Bruno Fernandes and Vitinha thrive because they have teammates constantly making runs behind defenders. Those movements create passing lanes and force defenders to make difficult decisions. Against Spain, Portugal rarely stretched the back line. Too many players wanted the ball at their feet instead of attacking the space behind Spain's defense. That made life comfortable for Spain's centre-backs. Without the threat of pace in behind, Spain pushed their defensive line higher, squeezed the midfield, and limited the space Portugal's creative players usually enjoy. Suddenly, Bruno Fernandes had fewer passing options, Vitinha had less room to dictate play, and Portugal's attack became predictable. This is why so much criticism is being directed toward Roberto Martinez. Managing a national team isn't only about selecting great players, it's about making difficult decisions when the game demands them. Sometimes that means replacing even your biggest star if it gives the team a better chance to win. Many believe Martinez simply wasn't willing to make that call. The truth is, this wasn't a surprise. Questions about Ronaldo leading the line at 41 years old had followed Portugal throughout the tournament. While his experience and leadership remain invaluable, modern football is built on speed, pressing, and constant movement. Against elite opponents like Spain, every small detail matters. Still, Portugal's World Cup exit shouldn't overshadow Ronaldo's incredible legacy. Few players have ever represented their country with more passion, commitment, and consistency. For nearly 2 decades, he carried the expectations of an entire nation and helped Portugal win historic trophies, including UEFA Euro 2016. Regardless of how this tournament ended, his place among football's greatest players is already secure. Meanwhile, Spain continues to impress. This wasn't their most entertaining performance, but it may have been one of their most mature. Championship teams don't always dominate, they find ways to survive difficult nights. Spain defended brilliantly, controlled possession when necessary, and once again proved the importance of squad depth. Their substitutes changed the match. Ferran Torres delivered the perfectly weighted assist, while Mikel Merino finished with remarkable composure to score the winning goal in stoppage time. It was another reminder that tournaments are often decided by the players coming off the bench just as much as the stars in the starting lineup. Now Spain marches into the quarterfinals full of confidence, while Portugal heads home facing difficult questions about its future. A new generation of Portuguese talent is ready to emerge, but the biggest decision may not involve the players at all. It may involve the man on the sidelines. As for Cristiano Ronaldo, whether this was his final World Cup appearance or not, one thing is beyond debate. Football has witnessed one of the greatest careers in history, and while this chapter ends in disappointment, his legacy will continue.